Today I'll be reviewing and rating the book Happy Family by Tracy Barone. Stay tuned because it's a very interesting one. Happy Family was written by Tracy Barone. It was written from the point of view of a middle-aged woman named Sherry Matzner. Sherry was adopted and now she's reaching 40, trying to have a baby of her own. She goes through many up and downs in her struggle to get pregnant, which causes trouble with her husband. Throughout the book, you see her marriage start to crumble. The overall story of this novel talks about how Sherry was left in a clinic when she was born and adopted by Sol and Cece. Cece was her foreign Italian mother and Sol was her rich American doctor father. Cece and Sol had lost their baby after birth, and finding Sherry helped them move on greatly. Sherry has always felt out of place because of the fact that she was adopted. This is shown throughout her various piercings and crazy haircuts described in the novel. Eventually she settles down, becomes a professor, and marries a man named Michael. Her and Michael have many struggles in their marriage due to their 20-age-year difference, and Sherry's inability to get pregnant and have children. Soon, Michael gets diagnosed with cancer as well. With all of this that is already going on, Sherry's job is also going under investigation because a student accused her of being biased. This describes a very difficult life for Sherry, and it is very interesting to read about. Sherry talks a lot about the past. Her father Sol had a whole secret second family that she found out about in college. She never did anything about it, but it turns out her mother also knew. Also, she became a cop for a while, falling in love, then quickly out of love when she watched him commit a murder. Then, back to reality, Michael died. Sherry went downhill and started doing a lot of drugs. Then she took a little getaway to Malibu and recovered. She spent one night with an interesting boy she met. Her life began to get back on track, and then she found out big news in an envelope Michael had left her. Big news, you will have to read the book to learn. In this novel, there are several inspirational quotes of which are written. One of which says, "If life is a river, we can only see a small patch of it. A little in front of us, some behind. We don't know when we're going to run into a tributary or hit a waterfall. You could pull back and up to see how it all connects to the ocean. If you could see the whole story of your parents and their parents, would it alter your memories of them? Would it change what you translate to your kids? Would then they revise to their kids? If you could do that, even for a moment, you'd get God's sense of humor. You'd know your story is perfect, that your terribly imperfect parents were perfect for you, that your life could only have been written by and for you." What this quote is basically saying is that there is no such thing as a life that is better than your own. No matter how bad one may think they have it, others are going through the same difficult things. This is the quote that actually ends the book and leaves us with a great ending. Another strong quote written in the book is when it says, "Her mother taught her that it is déclassé to discuss how much money one does or does not have. Déclassé means unclassy, and this is said because money is not all that matters in life, and it is actually about the quality of life that you get, which does not come from money." One of the quotes in the novel that I feel is most stronger is one that states, "Our work is to forgive ourselves first, for all the anger, pain, and disappointment we lug around every day. For not doing enough or being enough, then forgive others. You know the list. And take responsibility. We create our reality with our choices in relationships, what we say about ourselves to ourselves." This quote is very inspiring. This book teaches a lot about relationships, and here it teaches you you need to forgive yourself and others. This quote was said during a part of the novel where Sherry and her husband were having serious problems. During this, she was thinking back about her dad and his second family, and how he faced those problems, and how she might want to face them differently than he did. A fourth quote in the novel states, "Happy families are all alike. Every unhappy family is unhappy in its own way." This is another family quote which teaches that all families have their own problems. However, they all end up being happy in their own special ways. Overall, I learned to appreciate my family much more after reading this because it inspired me that I should be happy. Throughout this novel, there are several literary terms that are expressed. One literary term is the setting. With most of her life spent in New York City, Sherry now lives in the suburbs with her husband. This represents a more calm, relaxed, and settled down happy life, which hopefully everyone can have one day in their future. Other literary terms that are expressed throughout the novel are climax and flashback. The climax of the book is reached when Michael is diagnosed with cancer. They were already having problems, and finding this out was going to cause their relationship even more stress and issues. The flashback is expressed throughout the book when Sherry had several of them. She had flashbacks to her days in college, her days as a cop, and the big flashback was the day she saw her dad with his second wife and kid. This expressed several emotions throughout her experiences. Overall, I felt that Happy Family by Tracy Barone was a very well written book. I would recommend this book because not only are there many twists and turns, but it teaches a lot about family and happiness for the future. It has a good theme of the grass isn't always greener on the other side and appreciate what you have. The only problem, however, is that it was dragged out a little bit. Other than that, I felt that it was very interesting and a great novel to read. I feel that this is a good novel for people who are struggling in life to read. It expresses ways that one can get through life and still be happy, even though there are many hardships and obstacles that they might have to face. The novel can leave the reader with hope as they finish up reading it. I would rate this book a 4 out of 5 stars on the 5-star scale because it was very interesting and I found it very exciting to read. I recommend it to anyone whose age is 15 and older. Thanks for listening and stay tuned for more reviews on Happy Family.